The volume's on. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the local Marana podcast, broadcast here this Tuesday morning. We are happy to be here. Everybody had a fun weekend, a good weekend. And just like that, another episode is here. And I'm excited for when we start moving into the Thursday episodes, too, because now we're going to have this extra piece of fun throughout the week to join in on. And we got some cool guests lined up today.
I'm going to plug next Thursday.
Yeah.
The 25th.
Yeah.
Dr. Sylvia Lee, supervisor at 3P Accounting, is going to be here. I'm really looking forward to hanging out with her.
That's going to be really cool. Hey, before we go any further, I think we should jump into weather.
Okay. What's the weather like?
So what's going on?
Weather dude Scott. There he is.
Hey. You ask a lot of great questions. And what I like to do is I like to geolocate myself. And so what I'm seeing from my location is right now in Marana, it is a sunny 60 degrees with a high of about 82 today. So if you're a golfer, today's a great day to do it. You know, today's just a great day to be outside, I would say.
Great day to be alive.
Yeah.
So make sure you're enjoying the great weather. It is going to start getting warm by the end of the week. We're going to be hitting the 90s. And you know what? Hopefully the wind stays away because I'm not a huge wind fan.
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but wind just kind of throws me off my game.
Well, we were talking about that real briefly about eating out on Friday. You ate out. We ate out outside.
Yeah.
We were chasing food all over the parking lot.
Yeah, I watched my salad go flying into the parking lot, so that was kind of cool.
Okay.
But what are the temperatures? What kind of hot are we talking about, Scott?
Well, you know, you're going to get in the 80s today, but you're going to have some 90s by the end of the week. And that's usually when I would want to put myself in the shot, is if I'm talking, so that you're not just hearing a random person and you're watching you guys go, oh, wow, cool story, bro. Yes, 80s and 90s this week, but it's 60 right now. I would be outside walking my dog if I wasn't in here truly living the dream.
Living the dream.
Living the dream.
Yes. You know, weekend recap.
What'd you do, David?
I went to Sonoita this weekend with the fam bam, loaded up in the car, and we just took a little day trip out there. And we didn't do any wine tasting. My kids are too young.
We didn't do any wine tasting.
But there's a really cool meat, like local meat distributor out there. It's Vera Eel. Vera Earl, sorry. I'm pronouncing it right. But anyways, I got meat from there. It's my second time going there. Bought almost $400 worth of meat.
Your pops turned you on to that.
Yeah. And it's just real clean, grass-fed, good stuff. And then there was a cafe right next to it called The Cafe.
Serving that meat, and it was delicious. I had a big old burger. My daughter had a burger. Everybody had a burger. Everybody had a burger.
And it was phenomenal. And then, you know, Sunday just kind of just kicked it. Yeah. What'd you do?
Nothing that cool. I did church on Sunday. I was in the tower for 5 hours.
The tower.
Just chilled. We worked Saturday morning. We took Saturday afternoon off. Did some, like I said, chasing food to the parking lot. Hey, a shout out to Street Taco over there in Oro Valley. Yeah. Really good stuff.
Yeah. Was your first time having it?
Yeah. I've had it before brought to me. So, you know, I'm eating it 30 minutes after it's been fixed, but it was really good. Really good. A lot of wind in the parking lot, but
right, it was crazy.
But it was kind of cool though because it kind of brought everybody out there because there were quite a few people out there. Everybody was kind of sharing the same experience, so we yucked it up a little bit.
You probably ate around the same time I did because right before we went outside, it was fine.
Yeah,
it was beautiful. The weather was good. We're like, oh, let's go. Like it wasn't like, hey, let's go fight the elements right now. Let's see who wins. It was, let's go outside and eat and have a good time, and then it just.
Well, we were good. I'll shout them out because it's a great place. The La Hacienda. We like going over there, but you know them old people in Oro Valley at about 5 o'clock on a Friday were packing the place. I can say that full disclosure. I'm one of them, so I'm not talking smack about them, but we chose that. It was a good call.
Yeah.
And it was a great weekend. The weather was really nice.
It was a great weekend for taxes too.
What are we talking about?
Taxes. It was tax day this weekend, wasn't it? Saturday
was tax day?
No, when was it? Oh, yesterday was tax day.
April 15th?
Yeah.
Jackie Robinson Day!
Well,
there's tax day and Jackie Robinson Day are the same? I've got my priorities in line. Jackie Robinson 42!
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, I couldn't help but
I joke.
bringing that up. So
I joke.
I saw
That's
somebody.
The misery.
I saw our good friend Brian Watson post "Happy Tax Day" on LinkedIn, and I'm like,
chill out.
the saucy buddy.
Yeah.
So Brian, if you're watching, you hear this. I see what you're doing, man. So Brian, full disclosure, Brian was an IRS special agent that worked on the Balco case and some other stuff, and
he would.
He would say that because that was his job.
Hey, you were talking a while ago about the states, and you want to share some of that stuff just real quick about what states, as far as the taxes with the income tax.
Yeah.
Anybody want to guess what was number one? Well, I know you told me. Anybody know?
Anybody know? Anybody know? Is there anybody on the chat guessing what the highest tax state is in the United States?
It's not California.
And always, if you're watching the broadcast, you're welcome to call in. 520-373-2059. 520-373-2059.
Yeah. I only know that because David shared it with us.
You got it. You got anything going on in the chat there, Scott?
That's a negative as of right now, but it's early.
No
people are out walking the dog because I just told them to. So now they don't have but they could chat and walk. And so
put the headphones in, put the buds in, guys. Come on.
Yeah, exactly.
I see Roxanne Ziegler has shared the shout out to Roxanne.
She shared the
or reacted to it. So she's somewhere out there in
okay. So let's go into this. The number one taxed state place is drum roll.
I'm gonna look smart because you gave it to me.
Okay, go ahead, give us it too.
Jersey,
New Jersey,
New Jersey, number one.
So, yeah. So this is from Self Inc. It's a data website, and number one is New Jersey. Number two is DC. Number 3 is Connecticut. Number 4 is Massachusetts. Number 5 is New York, and number 6 is New Hampshire.
Wow! So read those again real quick because I think they're all in this. Yeah. All,
Jersey, DC, Connecticut, Massachusetts, New York, and New Hampshire. They're all kind of in that same little
they're all connected, aren't
bubble over there. And the least tax state. Can anybody guess what that is? Anybody want to try?
I can't because full disclosure.
Yeah.
You shared it.
Yeah. I don't know if Scott knows.
Least taxed?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Florida.
Oh, close. Closest, Florida's number 47. So,
but think in the same part of the country because this state's in the same part of the country that the highest ones are in.
I'm not good at geography.
Hey, I'm gonna
Georgia,
fix Clint's camera real quick.
Oh, we got an intern. Let's make the intern do it.
Yeah, his thank you interns today. This camera right here, his head is like out of the shot a little bit. So bring it out a little bit. There you go. Look at that.
And kind of move me a little. There you go.
Look at that.
Where's the applause button? Let's get it on.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hey, we actually have 2 interns this morning.
Yeah.
Lovely young couple here. You want to introduce them, Scott?
Yes. So from the sweet state of Colorado, we have my son, SR2, also known as Scotty.
SR2, that's so cool.
He's on the camera today and helped switch it, and we put him right to work. They're both seniors in high school. Kayleen is Scotty's wonderful and sweet girlfriend of like a couple years now. And so we've welcomed Kayleen into the family a long time ago. And they are seniors this year in the suburbs of Denver, Colorado. And this kind of works out great because they need some intern credits. And so we're like, great. Wake up early while you're on vacation and let's come staff a camera.
Glad you guys are here.
Yeah.
Lovely couple.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Really, really nice.
Yeah.
Thanks for being
I'm already
here.
lobbying that they maybe attend college in Southern Arizona.
Yeah, good
I'm
call.
going to lobby pretty hard on that, by the way. I'm not going to let go.
Yeah. All right, Scott. So the least taxed state is West Virginia. And then following close is Louisiana, Alabama, Oklahoma, and Florida.
Now think about, just for a second, this was all new to me.
Yeah.
You shared this morning. Geographically, they all kind of line up. There was one in the lower one that didn't match, West Virginia and
Ohio. Oklahoma's kind of
Oklahoma more central.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's get into some pretty staggering numbers in regards to Well, they're the most taxed. What does that mean, right? What are we going to do? So, according to this website, the average lifetime earnings in New Jersey is $1,818,191. So that's a lifetime earning. You go,
how
wow,
much again?
$1,818,000.
So almost $2 million.
Yeah. So I mean, if
wow, that's not much.
Yeah,
is it?
Doesn't that kind of blow your mind? Like, people that have made that in a year. Yeah. A lot of people make that. You look at sports
over a 40-year period, man. That's especially for that part of the world. You'd think it'd be twice that much.
Yeah. So I mean, you're taking into a lot because I mean, you're sure you're dealing with you're bringing in the folks that are not making much.
Yeah, but and I know apples oranges, but to compare like our demographic here, Marana is 96.
It's the average.
Average, but that's household. So I guess would that put it right on par then?
Yeah, I was looking at the number. I was questioning it at first because I'm like, well,
give them the bad news. That's bad enough.
Yeah, here's the worst part. So let's
the
say
average person's averaging about $50,000 over a 40-year span.
Right.
Not quite, but pretty close. But the bad news is...
So let's say you make that $1,818,000. Well, the percent of your earnings taxed in New Jersey is 54.3%. More than half of what you make is taken by the man. And so you would end up paying $987,000 of your money into taxes in New Jersey.
That's a family surviving on 40 grand real money in Jersey.
Oh. Yeah. And then, Connecticut's not too far behind it. It's at 49.4%. The lifetime earning average there is $1,731,000. And the lifetime taxes you'll pay is $855,000. And so here's just some perspective for Arizona, because you're like, well, we're in Arizona, we don't care about that much. Let's hear about Arizona. Arizona is actually pretty low on the list. So as far as ranking, Arizona is, wait for it, number 28. So we're kind of right in that halfway mark. And California was a lot lower than I thought it would be. California's number 9. I thought California was going to be in the top 5, but it's number 9. So go back to Arizona. So
just out of curiosity, give us the breakdown on California. How much made and how much taxed?
Okay, California average is $1,589,000.
Less than Jersey?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Again, I don't know how accurate it is, but it's to use the percentage.
And what percentage?
It is 41.5%. So you make
outrageous.
$1,589,000. You're going to get taxed $659,000.
I guess why I'm surprised by the California number is there are so many. It's such a big state. A lot of people. Maybe that brings the average down. But there's so many people in California that make a lot of money.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, they're real high end. You'd think they'd drag the number up a little higher than that. But
and we don't. I mean,
what's your source, sir? Just for full disclosure.
Self Inc.
Okay,
that's what it's called. And then, so Arizona, the average is $1,443,000. You're looking at lifetime taxes of $470,000 of that at a rate of 32.6%.
It's still outrageous, isn't it?
It's almost a third of what you make.
Because you mentioned a while ago how many times you get taxed during the course of a day.
Yeah, I was trying to find that out. I'm like, all right, so let's sit here and break it down. How many times do we get taxed throughout the day? So when we start our day, right, we get up. You probably, if you shower at night or you shower in the morning, right, you're going to use products that you bought at the store that you got taxed on. So you're already feeling that because you're using the goods that you bought and that were taxed on. You're using your water, getting taxed on that, right? So then you're going to put on your clothes that you got taxed on, and depending where they came from, there was probably some tariff fees and what else or whatever else on that. And then let's say you hop in your car, right? Well, you're paying a tax on that car with your registration and stuff just to drive it on the road. And then let's say you got to go get gas. Well, now you got to go get gas. So now you're going to get taxed on that. Let's say you grab some goods out of the gas station. Now you're getting taxed on that, right?
And keep in mind the constant tax of electricity, your phone, your cable.
Right.
Those are never ending. I mean, you're just getting taxed on those 24/7 around the clock.
Absolutely. So. Yeah. And then
you know what I appreciate about those stats is with all those opportunities to be taxed at every turn, what we've been able to do is make society perfect. So we've been able to use those funds wisely, and now society is just milk and honey at all times.
Yeah. That's why we're talking about it, Scott, because how great it is, right? Getting taxed.
Hey, we're not ready for it yet, but now would be a perfect time to queue up the new commercial that you're building. Right. It's not ready. I'm just teasing you, but
we're not official, so we can't do that. Forgive me on that. But if you know, you know. If you don't, it's okay. I'm just saying we're not official. We are official, right? Yeah. Anybody can be official. Yeah. You know.
You're official, David.
Yeah. You want to be an official clown? Go ahead. You want to, you do you. Anyways, back to the tax thing, right? So we're going to our job, which we all know that the gov takes a big chunk of that. So you go to clock in throughout your day. You know that when we were walking before the session, we're like, all right, let's just say in perspective, and you lived in New Jersey, you made $20 an hour. Well, technically you don't. You make like $8. You make
you
$9
take home $9, but you're still getting taxed on that $9 every time you purchase something.
Right. So and we're not even talking about sales tax yet. Just in general, right? The different percentages, it's.
I have always felt this as a kid. I'm like, payroll tax to me.
That is the biggest.
It's the biggest scam I ever heard.
Oh my gosh!
I mean, you're being taxed for your labor.
You remember hearing the state where they raised it during COVID?
It's insane.
To help pay
I never
for the emergency.
Understood that.
Oh my gosh!
And then not only are you being taxed as a laborer or an employee,
right?
Your employer's being taxed for your services,
right? Yes,
so
exactly.
Keep that in mind. You're paying what? New Jersey, you're paying 53%.
Yeah.
Well, your employer's paying. Your employer's paying probably half that. Mm-hmm. So of the money you're earning, really, the government's really taking about. Because they're having to pay on top of that.
Yeah,
they're making about 70. They're netting 75%. And my argument is, you did nothing to earn this.
Yeah.
Now my plan can't work. Here's the reality. No, it can't work. It will decimate the system as we know it. You pull it out. How many people make their living in America off taxes?
A lot. I think it's most. There's more people in.
Well, there's more people
than
absolutely
than in private.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
That's a fact.
Yeah.
So, but if you just think about tax preparers, all of our good friends at the IRS, Brian Watson included. So you can't stop that. If you pulled that plug on that right now, it would crash. Yeah. We would crash and burn immediately. But there has to be more of a. Pick a number.
Yeah.
Whatever the number works. And everybody kind of is in that 15 to 20 range. So let's say 15 to 20. Mm-hmm. Everybody pays 15 to 20.
Yeah.
I don't care. That's even. Everybody pays the same amount. That means everybody's got equal stake. If you're making $20 an hour, you pay 17%. If you're making $2,000 an hour, you pay 17%. We all have the same.
So what are you doing at the municipal level, though?
Well, we're talking payroll taxes.
Oh.
We're just talking payroll taxes.
Okay. I got you.
I'd even go one step further. Again, this can't happen overnight because the system is so baked into what's going on. We can't. There's no quick fix here, folks. Yeah. No matter what, I don't care. Politicians are going to stand up and they're going to talk about. You can't fix this overnight because it didn't happen overnight.
Right.
And to pull this would be basically just chopping the heart out of it. But a flat sales tax of. And to me, this would be based on, they do it already in a lot of, like tobacco, alcohol have higher tax rates than a lot of other stuff does.
Yeah.
So, and that kind of makes sense because there are repercussions for some of these behaviors. But more of a tax of like, if you can afford and you want to buy a $250 million yacht, maybe that tax is a little higher than somebody that's buying a second car so their kid can get to work or get to school.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Right. So you say that number, $250 million, and it's so crazy to hear.
Well, I saw one the other day, and it was cool.
that the average is like $1,800,000.
Yeah.
That bothers me, man. That bothers me.
Yeah.
And then half of it's going to go bye-bye. Like it's to me, it's part of the whole. And we've talked about it before on the Unrestricted Free Agent podcast that we have. Shameless plug on that. But if you're looking to learn some stuff and try to make some moves, go listen to that on Spotify. It is behind a small paywall. Reason being is it is an educational program and we have to charge on it. But it really, that opened my eyes. But then hearing this, it kind of just, you talk about that conveyor belt, right? Like, hey, I'm going to go to school. I'm going to just get in line and go out there and get debt. We're not even talking about the debt factor in that, right? The $19 trillion that the consumers are in credit card debt.
Yeah. Not to mention the government debt of $32 trillion.
Yeah, so
those aren't even real numbers, though. Honestly, I mean, they are.
Yeah.
But nobody's paying those back.
Yeah. So what happens then, though?
Just
we keep taxing more to accommodate it?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So what we have to do as a society, first off, we're going to have to make some tough choices. And honestly, at my age, I don't have to make these tough choices, but they do.
Yeah.
These young, you do. You guys have to make some serious choices, and it's not going to be easy. I don't think it'll be easy, but I don't think it's impossible either.
Yeah,
you just got to start slowly bringing it back and quit some of this stupid stuff we're doing. Like Scott said, I mean, we're living in a utopia, or should be at the prices that we pay because that's what we're doing, and a lot of it's just the dumbing down of the citizenry. That no one and busy and running and watching TV and TikToks in your face and personal responsibility has to play a big role in this.
Yeah, it's always an interesting thing I've seen too is when new tax law is brought in or new tax rates are brought in, it's very, very rare that you see them pull it back. Hey, we need this this tax rate for we're building something, or we're going to do this so we can take care of, the fentanyl issue. Yeah, right. That let's say they use that as an instance, right? Well, they raised the tax rate to accommodate that situation, but when that situation disappears, for one, no one really ever knows that it disappears or stops, and the tax rate just stays the same and the money keeps getting collected. And people are really just kind of blind to it by the distraction that you talk about, just everyday life. We're all busy. You got to get your kids to the next practice and you got to, work extra and whatever. But like those tax rates don't come back. You don't ever hear the news going, they're pulling back the tax rate. How exciting is that? Everybody's going to have a little bit more money in your pocket.
Hey, you're depressing me, David.
I'm sorry.
Can we go back to Jackie Robinson Day?
I mean,
April 15th is Jackie Robinson's Day, baby.
Celebrating tax day, man. It's one of the greatest holidays of the year, right? I mean, it's
you know what's ironic?
I say all this. I just want to cover. I'm doing this like sarcastically, kind of, but it's also an educational piece. Like, I'm trying to work on
educating,
but positively informing and influencing people, especially in like my age bracket.
But
because
David, here's your problem.
I don't have this conversation with a lot of people.
You know why? Because they don't understand what you're talking about.
That's why we're here talking about it.
Here's what, this is crazy, right?
Yeah.
People get all excited about a tax refund.
Yeah.
They get excited. And the first thing I think when I'm like, how much interest?
See how much went out? Though.
How much interest? No, they don't. I mean, it's their money.
Yeah, they don't.
How much interest did you get back from loaning the government, who's broke, by the way, $32 trillion in debt?
Yeah.
How much interest did you earn on your money? I'd rather owe the government $1,000 than get $1,000 back.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Because at least on the $1,000, if I owe them, I had an opportunity during the course of the year to maybe earn money on that $1,000.
Try to go as close to zero as you can.
Yeah, you try to go as close to zero as you can.
And I have friends that are like, oh, I went exempt for 6 months and now I owe $10,000. You're like,
well, that's not what
that's not
that's not what we're saying.
Don't do that.
That's
don't do
not
that.
what we're saying.
So it's I know it was I'm sorry it was kind of a downer talk, but I'm just trying to educate. And but we're gonna get into more fun stuff because we got
some
Gabe,
cool stuff coming
Ceniceros coming on. And looks like we're going to go to ad break. So when we come back, we're going to have Gabe here with us to cover Marana Foodie.
Beautiful.
He is the owner and operator of the Blacktop Grill here at Cortero and Thornydale in Northwest Tucson. I consider it Marana just because I so want to. But yeah, we'll see you soon.
Discover the power of 88 Crime, where your anonymous tips are rewarded with cash. When you call in anonymously with the tip, you are given a code. With the code and a password, you can walk into a bank and redeem your reward anonymously. If your anonymous tip results in a felony arrest, you can claim up to $2,500 cash reward. Let's stop the silence on crime and strive for a safer community. For more information, please visit 88crime.org or call 88crime.
Copper Creek Cookies, Copper Creek Cookies, CopperCreekCookies.net. We can print anything on our soft vanilla logo cookies. We deliver them and other sweet treats locally. We are located at 4249 West Ina Road, Suite 121. Call us 520-300-1131. We bake smiles. Copper Creek Cookies, Copper Creek Cookies, CopperCreekCookies.net.
Are you looking to establish a powerful online presence for your brand? Look no further than Live the Dream Media. Our team of experts possess the capabilities and skills necessary to make it happen. From creating compelling content to analyzing data and making strategic decisions, we've got it covered. Don't let a lack of social media know-how hold you back. Visit ltdmedia.net for more information.
Hi, I'm Alan Murdoch. For the past 20 years, I've been buying, fixing, and selling properties right here in Southern Arizona. And I want to buy your property. Whether it's a house, apartment, commercial building, or vacant land, regardless of the condition or the situation, I want to talk to you. When you sell to me, I pay cash and it's hassle-free. No repairs, no closing costs, and no commissions. If you have a property you don't want to deal with and you want a quick solution, call, text, or visit selltoalan.com. Again, that's selltoalan.com.
Not yet. Hey, there we are.
There we are. We're back.
We're back.
There we are. Look at there. Gabe.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Welcome aboard,
Welcome, man.
buddy.
Hey, thanks for having me on.
Yeah.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Beautiful day in
Yes, it is.
Marana and Tucsonia.
Hey, Scott, my shot is particularly just weird. So I don't know. If
I
we can
agree.
fix
I'm
that.
gonna have our intern.
We can go room shot for a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah,
have
go
our
room
intern
shot.
sort that out while I get you in the room. And so SR2, Kaylee.
He's on it.
He's on it.
Awesome.
Good morning, Marielle.
Yeah, Mary
We got,
Elsie
we,
with
got
us.
we got a room full this morning. There we go. That's looking pretty tight right there, bud.
Yeah, and
I
you
like
could
that.
you could pull the mic a lot closer to you, Gabe, just so we can hear you a little
Okay.
better.
Yeah.
So the listeners can hear you too. Welcome, man. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing great, brother. Feeling good. Feeling healthy.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
It's nice to have you. Nice to change it up. You know, we're new at this live thing, and we're still working out a lot of kinks.
You
and-
guys sound like pros, man. You could have fooled me. Like, yeah, I was hearing
Yeah.
you guys out. Like, sounds good. Like,
Yeah.
you guys been doing it a while.
Yeah, we've
What
been
are we on, 500 now?
no,
Somebody have to
you jump in 300 episodes.
No, I meant total
You
episodes
just
as
had
far
it.
as a whole.
Yeah, I love
It
it.
goes like significantly. No, he's pretty. I think we're pretty close to that, actually.
We were well into the 400s
Yeah.
before we kind of quit counting.
Yeah, and I was including the
All of
other
them.
people. I'm still not a fan of my shot there, but it's cool. I like it. We'll deal with it. But Gabe, so you're the owner of the Blacktop Grill.
Proud owner.
Tell
Yeah.
us about this place. What made you do it? Why did
Yeah.
you do it? And how has it been for you the last couple of years?
Oh, man. Well, why did I do it? You know, just really, I started in
Pull your mic in just a little bit
yeah,
closer.
it
Gabe.
just, you know, I just really wanted to be my own boss. Really, that was the ultimate goal when I first started it.
Yeah.
So I bought a little food cart held together by Band-Aids and duct tape, and you think I'm joking, but it was like really, like it was that, right? And so my ultimate goal was just to kind of get out of the man, and in 2 years I accomplished that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was
Hey,
amazing.
that's a-
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's a victory right there.
Now,
in
I
and
mean,
of
give you
itself.
perspective. Now I'm heading into year 10, right? But I still remember that day of walking away, the excitement, the nervousness. I mean, and now, like, you know, like it's pretty amazing because now I have bigger visions for the future of where we're at right now. You know?
See, 10 years in, you're done. You couldn't go back to the lifestyle you were in
Absolutely
before.
not.
He's been doing it.
No.
We've talked about
Absolutely
this
not.
a matter of fact, a couple of years in. I'm like, you're done.
Yeah,
you
I'm
either
done.
got
I've
to
been
make
done.
it or break it on your
Oh,
own now
yeah,
because
I've
there's
been
no
done,
way.
man.
Once you taste that freedom,
Yeah.
And for anyone that doesn't understand what we're talking about freedom, it's a freedom unique to, I would almost, I don't want to be sacrilege here,
Bring it.
but almost a spiritual level of
100%.
Freedom.
I agree.
Is that fair enough
Yes,
to say?
sir.
Both of you are spiritual men, so you know where I'm kind of.
Yeah.
It's not that level. Let's not get crazy.
No,
but,
it's that level.
But
I think it's fair to say that.
It's
Yeah.
pretty close.
Yeah.
It's fair. I've heard this thing one time, right? And I kind of live by it. It's like, I much rather work 100 hours for myself than 40 hours for someone else. So, you know, I feel like
1 hour for someone else.
1 hour for someone
Yeah,
else. I still
100
do,
for me.
right? Like
Yeah.
in a humble sense,
Yeah.
right? Like, you know, I work for a lot of people, you know.
Well, you work for all of your customers.
That's right.
And I don't even.
That's
I
right.
hate to even use that word. I used that word yesterday to describe a situation, and I wish I could guest. Family, maybe is a better word. We used to have a sign in a bakery and it said, enter his guests, leave his family.
Love it.
You know, and that's kind of how you feel, because they're your board of directors. Without them, what do you got? You got a cart, you got a grill,
Right.
you got
And
a counter.
I'm standing there modeling.
Well, you got your built-in photographer, so you do have that.
Yeah, one of the best content creators
Yeah,
in
yeah,
Southern
no, I'm a lucky
Arizona
guy.
here.
Yeah,
He's
I'm a
getting all the
lucky
good
guy.
moves,
Yeah,
getting you to
yeah,
dance a little bit on camera.
Oh,
I've
my
seen
God.
those.
That's one
I
thing
try
the
to
three
share
of us
those in
share.
particular when I can.
Yeah, man.
I know she probably was pulling teeth for that to happen. Huh?
Right.
Hey, is this-
I mean, I know I got the moves.
You just gotta
but to
let it
show
loose.
it to the world,
Yeah.
it's like a little uncomfortable.
Can we share this? And I know
Bring
there's
it.
Marielle. The one thing the three of us, and I'll throw Scott in this mix, and I'm going to throw SR2 into this mix as well. The key behind what we're doing is the women that we're doing life with. We could not. I know I could not do what I do if I wasn't married to Tammy.
Yes, sir.
And I don't believe you could, and I don't believe you could.
Absolutely
No, I
not.
agree.
No, not a chance.
100%.
No.
So it's the people you surround yourself, starting with your significant other, would be the key to this. Not to say you couldn't do this by yourself, but why would you want to?
That doesn't sound fun at
It
all.
wouldn't be right. It wouldn't be as fun.
Now, I know you guys, just to kind of drift a little bit, I know you guys are in separate businesses. She's quite the entrepreneur herself.
Yeah, that's right.
But do you compare notes once a week or once a month? Like
A lot of stuff, man. Like really, like it's pretty basic foundational stuff. So yeah, like
Isn't
when we
that
do
tr-
right.
Exactly.
So it doesn't matter the type of business. So when we do speak, it's a lot of the same. For lack of a better term, headaches and challenges.
Yeah.
You know. So when we talk, it's kind of we're able to keep on that same page and same realm, regardless of the business.
the
Does that make
business.
sense?
Because I've
Right.
been with a few groups of business operators, all of us in different realms and different businesses, but you could glean so much from a printer like Anton over here.
Yeah.
Because at the core, like you said, the foundation, our challenges or struggles are really similar.
That's it.
Because they're external, they're not really internal. You know what you want to do,
Right.
but the external pushback, either from bureaucracy or vendors,
All the above.
All the above.
are the issues,
all
right?
the above, yes, sir.
Because have you noticed
Yeah.
that you work at a different level now that the people around you work at?
Yes.
You operate and you think at a different level than
Yes, sir.
the other people think
Yes,
at.
sir, I
And
do.
I'm talking the whole package now.
Yes. Yeah. Thankful, and I think people who experience it, if they start building their own business, right? Like you got to know that, and you just start seeing differently. You start seeing opportunities in places where, other people tend to miss out.
I said the other day in here we were talking, I wish there was a simulator. Somehow we could simulate business. And it was kind of like everybody should own or operate a small business for a couple of years.
Yeah.
We would, the problems we're having now, we were talking taxes.
Yeah.
Those problems would go away if everybody could be blessed to do what we do.
Yes, sir.
Because you look at things through a different lens than you did 10 years ago. Is that fair enough?
Absolutely. 2 years ago, 1 year ago.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a constant evolution, really. So I just kind of keep an open mind, and I don't claim to have it figured out, but it's always constant change, and I think where I win now is like I kind of keep an open mind to it and kind of flow with it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Instead of fight it.
And you know what's fun? You guys probably agree. That first year or two, now it's so long ago for me
Yeah.
that I first ventured out. I'm talking 40 years ago. But
yes, sir.
That first feeling, like you're
Top of the
president
world,
of
baby.
the company. I've got my business cards. Back in the day, I'm carrying my briefcase, and you find out real quick that doesn't really mean anything.
Nah, it's just it's the beginning.
It's just the start. You know what? The first thing he did as the official CEO of Live the Dream Media, the first thing he did.
You popped a bottle of free champagne.
I wish.
You bought a gold grill for your teeth.
Man.
Tell him what you did,
I
David.
mopped. I had to mop.
Oh yeah, that sounds about
I walked in here.
That sounds about
I
right.
walked
There was
in
like a
here,
bad storm.
and he was mopping. We had a little
Yeah, it was a
rainstorm and a little
mess.
monsoon. I looked over,
Yeah.
and David's mopping, and I'm like, this is perfect. No one asked him to. No one suggested to him. He did it on his own.
You're a winner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It had to be done. I mean, at that point, you're just kind of like, well, how's this gonna work?
In a nutshell, yeah,
You
man.
gotta do everything, right? You're the
I got a
hands and
mop,
the-
right.
Yeah, yeah. So
You know what he still does? He still mops.
every now
Yeah.
and then. Yeah.
Although we
yeah.
got a couple interns, we
Oh.
may train them for corporate leadership someday.
yeah,
we're in
be,
the right
be
spot,
ready to
yeah.
mop.
Be
yeah,
ready to
absolutely.
mop.
Yeah,
That's-
be ready
yeah.
to mop.
No, that's a humbling thing, right? Like when
Yeah.
somebody, that's a cool story. I'll probably tell my grandkids one day. You know, like, hey, what'd you do when you first became, your own business and jumped into that world? I mopped.
I grabbed the mop and
I grabbed the
started
mop.
going at it. Right. 'cause
It
it's
wasn't like, yeah, sat in my chair where I had my little nameplate that said, blah blah CEO or whatever.
Yeah,
David. No, it wasn't.
yeah.
But his little
It wasn't
pins
like
in the
that.
holders.
Yeah.
And
You know, man, if I learned anything through this venture, it's all the little stuff that adds up that gets you to the big stuff. Really.
the compounding.
The
Compounding
compounding, and that just means like mopping and all the above. It all adds up. You know what I mean? And
Can I ask you a question?
bring
Now,
it.
and I'm asking both of you.
I'm listening. I'm gonna fix his mic down a little more.
How did someone model that for you, or did you acquire it through osmosis? Did you? Because for me, I had it modeled when I was a young guy, just getting into the real world. I had some really, starting with my parents. But I had some. I'll call out a couple of names. Don Medley was a guy that I worked for in college. He really modeled that. Hey, I might own this, and he owned everything.
yeah.
But he was washing dishes and he was mopping floors, and he just. So there had to be a little bit of modeling, but how'd you guys get to that point where you mopped a floor without anybody telling you? I mean.
I don't know. I think it's just a different. I think it had to do a lot about how we were raised. I'm not speaking for you, but like how I was raised. But there's something when. So I grew up with a hunger, right? And I'm not saying like I was like hungry to eat or anything like that. Which we'll jump into.
But
your
that's
food.
involved, right?
Yeah, but that's a big
involved.
thing of it. No, when I talk about the hunger is, growing up and stuff. My parents were really, really young, so there wasn't a lot of money and stuff going on. You couldn't really get. I saw a lot of my friends and stuff growing up doing things that I couldn't do, and it just came to money. Right, like I remember a lot of weekends growing up that my friends were gonna go, to an arcade, or they were gonna go do certain things, and I just couldn't do it. Or if I did do it, I was like spending the little bit of money I did have in my pocket to go and do that, and I just hated that feeling. And there wasn't anything I could do at that time to change that, right? So, but I always had in my head, and I'd see how hard my dad would work and my mom would work, and I started seeing the change, right, for them. Like, we did start getting money, and you see the change of where we came, because we grew up on the west side.
Okay.
And we ended up, when my parents were able to, we moved out of it. And it was a big change for our family, because that place was a mess, man. It was this crime-riddled area, and we moved out to the suburbs, so you get to feel that the change. So for me, it's like, why I want to be that change now for my family. Now, like, how do I change that? Well, for me, like working working for the government, I felt like there was just a roof. There was a cap. Like, this is as good as you can get.
And lack of freedom.
And lack
not
of
only
freedom.
a roof, but somebody telling you precisely what you.
Yeah, there's
how
a lot
you
of
feel your day.
and there's a lot of problems in bureaucracy with freedom.
Yeah.
And one of them is like, for me, I would see some officers, even throughout the U.S. doing stuff on social media, and I'd hear people talking bad about like them doing that stuff. But I'm like, see, that's the problem. You think because of what you do that they shouldn't be doing that, but they can express themselves. There's nowhere in the contract or anything where it says you're not allowed to live.
Sure.
Right. So like seeing that kind of stuff fired me up even more.
Yeah.
Right. Because I remember I was just talking to somebody here locally. There was an email sent out to people that work for government here locally, and it was like, you're not allowed to do this and this while you're on duty. It's like, where does that constitutionally come into play? Where is that in law? Right. So something like people controlling things. So for me, it's like, well, I get to step out of that. There's cons and pros and cons to it. Right. So, well, is the con mopping? Possibly, but it's also, hey, this is where you're at. You have to take care of business on your own.
Yeah, definitely.
So, where did you learn it?
Like, and I guess just so I'm understanding, we're talking about like I guess just mopping, right?
Yeah. Well,
or the fundamentals,
or the fundamental, exactly.
Yeah.
How do you come into there with that discipline?
Do you know,
you can't just do it
Did
without.
someone model that for you? It was just there? I mean,
no. I'm a work in progress, man, and I'm every day, and I wish I could always say like I had this clear vision and this worth ethic, but that was never the case. It was something I had to like grow and learn and kind of apply every day, and I'm still applying it.
Are you guys listening over there?
Right.
Because this is this is real talk right now.
So on that sense, I was always hungry, man. Like where I'm from, I'm from Yuma, and it's funny you guys mentioned that you bring this up because kind of like the West Side story, right? I'm from Yuma, so when I was growing up, man, like in my neighborhood, it was normal to go to a friend's house and them live in a shack.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about this.
Yeah.
Absolutely normal. Like, you didn't think about it. Like, we walk in, we play. You're happy to be there. But looking back, it was normal, like, man, to live in a shack. Now, let me add to that story. So there's different perspectives for me growing up, right? And this is all intertwined, so I'm not trying to veer off here, but I talk about this all the time. So up the street, I had a group of friends that all lived in these apartments. Right, nice apartments. They're very well kept. We lived up the street. We are at our house, our humble little house, and I was like, man, I want to live over there with them. I was like, man, they're all in that same block and everything. Later on in life, man, I figured out it was government housing. Yeah. So we were actually the lucky ones because we had a home. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And just to add to that, one more thing to that, there was a neighbor across the street. Every day they get pizza. Right? And they were getting pizza every day. And I'm like looking at my parents like, I want pizza every day. Come to find out, his parents didn't cook. And my mom's in the kitchen cooking. You know what I mean?
The good stuff, too, right?
The good stuff, too, right? Now, you would, appreciate if I ate pizza every day, I'd be sick of it. Although we eat it every other day, man, don't get me wrong, I love pizza. But it's a different perspective, right? And so I've just always been hungry.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always worked excuse my French, I've always worked my ass off.
You can cuss on here if you want.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you.
Hey,
I'm a
get the
passionate
censor
person.
button ready there, Scott. We're getting ready to go rogue on you, babe.
He's going hood. He's going hood. Yeah, no. And I've always been hungry, dude. And I think it's a very well put when you start working smarter and not harder.
Yeah, amen.
It gets easier. But you also realize things like mopping the floor is foundation to it all.
You know what? Honestly, my background's pretty humble. I mean, but we had our own baseball diamond in the backyard, my brother and I. My parents built us a little league field in the backyard. How cool is that?
That is so cool.
Pretty modest little house. We grew up in the country. We had some nice houses. We had some trailers. We had some shacks. Mm-hmm. We were kind of in the middle. But my parents were born in the Depression, and they were hungry, especially my mom. My dad I always could kin him to a bass player in a band.
Yeah.
He actually was a lead guitar player and a great singer, but his role in life was he was a bass player. He kept it all together, right? He always knocked down the jobs, always pastored at a church. But my mom, for the lack of a better example, was the brains of the operation. Not that he was... Yeah. She just knew, but she was hungry.
Love it.
Just hungry from a child. She bought her first house when she was 17 years old.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Wow.
So we all have something in common then. It's
and
that
you know
hunger.
What I was going to say is I think you're born with it or it's modeled to you at a young age.
Yeah.
Because if you look at your stories, all three of us had different backgrounds, different locations, different time frames, but we were hungry early on and to do something else. In my case, it was modeled for me by my parents.
Yeah.
Yours, it sounds like it was too. Your mom and dad's busting it. You guys are busting it over there.
Thank you.
So I think we're born with that to some degree because I'm one of 4 siblings. They've all been extremely successful.
Yeah.
But in different realms. But I'm the hungriest. I'm the most like getting after it kind of. Whereas they were just smart.
Yeah.
Are you the only entrepreneur in your?
Yes,
Yeah.
Gotcha.
My sister's a doctor, got every degree in the book. My brother is an engineer, got every degree in the book. My little sister is got every degree in the book. Musically gifted, she's a great financial. She really understands finance, which is from my father, which I understand. But yeah, I'm the only one in my siblings. Now my mom's family is full of entrepreneurs. Everybody had a business of some kind.
Wow.
Which is really cool. One of my uncles, who's deceased, actually created all the original welding equipment that NASA uses in building space labs and stuff.
Wow. Are you the only entrepreneur?
Do
you have
let me go
siblings?
down the. Yes, I have. I'm the oldest of 6.
Okay.
I met
So-
your youngest brother yesterday.
Yeah, he was in town from Chicago.
Help me
Yeah.
with his name. Is it
His name is Isaac.
Isaac?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was in town from Chicago visiting the family, so we got together and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, everybody has their careers and they're all killing it at their careers, and I just always kind of known that I was gonna do my own thing. I tried a bunch of different things.
Yeah.
I don't think I had the mindset at the time. Now it's it's a little different and
a little more direction, a little more.
Yeah.
You know what I
more
just noticed?
direction.
We're all the oldest of the siblings.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to lean into.
Yeah.
Was trying to figure that out
Yeah.
because I wonder if there's something with that too.
Yeah, man. So that too. So like, and this kind of all intertwines again, right? So I'm the oldest of 6, and our house was tiny: 2-bedroom, 1 bathroom,
Wow.
3-bedroom. Excuse me, man.
Learning how to share a lot early.
Oh man!
And
you have
being
no
the
idea.
oldest, you were kind of the trendsetter, right? You kind of had.
Well,
I don't mean
man,
trend, but
I
you
was a
kinda-
young lad. I wasn't the smartest of people. I wouldn't say that. But it was, there was a lot of, meals with like 6 kids. Imagine feeding that. So,
Yeah.
my mom would like make a lot of starches, and I talked to, God bless her soul. You know what I mean? She would like pile these tortillas on and make these like enchiladas that you've never seen, like a cake style, so that we fill up. And it probably wouldn't work because we were still sitting there like hungry, but we were still alive to this day. So she did a great job, and both my parents did, raising us. But so when you have that many kids, obviously, like, life's a little, you have a little less than a lot of people, you know what I mean?
But you have more of the good stuff than
absolutely,
a lot of people. More
100%,
love, more camaraderie,
right. And
a built-in buddy.
I give that all the credit to my hunger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So just always wanting better, and so.
There's another common thread. Mm-hmm. We had parents that were really engaged and involved with their children.
Yeah.
Right.
As you mentioned how
I'm
awesome your
blessed.
parents have been.
Yeah.
I know your parents.
Yeah.
I know my parents. My parents never missed anything.
Ditto.
Love it.
No Little League, no PTA, no piano recital. I don't care.
Yeah.
Both of them are there.
Love it.
That's so cool.
Hey, Gabe, I was going to ask you
Yeah, bring it.
because, so you said
I'm like, where's the voice coming from?
right?
Yes, Lord.
Yes, Lord. Listen.
So you got that entrepreneurial spirit.
Yeah, man.
And you said you tried a few different things.
Yeah.
And you've landed on this amazing restaurant,
Thank
by
you.
the way, Blacktop.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I'd like to hear a little more about Blacktop and get you to plug it, because what got you into saying, this is where I'm going to land, I want to do a restaurant, and then do it to the level that you've been able to?
Oh man, you put that like that. Like, I never thought of it as a level, but sometimes I stop and smell the roses, and I'm like, wow, like, we've come a long way, I guess just to give you a little backstory, man, I've been part of the industry since I was 16 years old. My first job was at KFC, and throughout my career, I veered off. I was told, like, hey, you don't get a lot of options. Go to school and become this. So I did. A friend of mine, old friend, a family friend, told me, let me go back a little bit. So when you're in the restaurant biz, man, when I was growing up, it was I'm not going to say frowned upon, but it wasn't a career that was shunned up in the ranks. You know what I'm saying? It was like doctor, lawyer, all that. And that's the time frame I grew up in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it was kind of instilled in me to like, okay, you need to go to school and figure something out. So I did, man. A friend of mine told me he was making $800 a week, more than I had ever made in my lifetime. You know what I mean? That he was doing it, drafting and engineering. So I went to school, and it took me like 4 or 5 years for an associate's, but I ended up getting a job in an office, and it was a great experience, but I was miserable, man. I was miserable. So long story short, 2008 happened. I got laid off, and I find myself back in the restaurant industry, thinking that I'm taking a step back, and really it's a step forward.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So with that said, I've always kind of had this hunger to start my own thing, and I didn't have a lot of experience in other things, y'all. You know what I mean? All I knew is that I had restaurant experience. I had a good understanding of food, and
a work ethic.
I mean, it's gotten better. Right,
dude,
I had
you can't survive in that world if you don't have it.
And I wanted to be my own boss.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I knew, bro. So, when I bought that first card, I think it was like $1,200, and that was like the biggest investment ever. And I was scared, and I was nervous, but I took that jump, right? And so when that started, it wasn't like this grand jump. It was like that first year, like it was okay. By year 2, I was like, okay, I'm making a little money, and I started realizing that it started overtaking the income that I was making at that time. So, then I jumped into there. And it's been progressively like layers of growth. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Year 2, I'm walking away from the man. That was my ultimate goal.
Yeah.
Like, that was the big one.
Check.
Yeah, check. I was like, man, I made it. Like, you know what I mean?
I'm here.
I'm here.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? It was exciting. It was nerve-wracking. It was all the above. And then, like, year 3, I think I had 2 trucks. And, God bless my brothers. They were helping me out, man. And we're, like, boom, tackling all this stuff. Year 5, man, like, we started getting, like, oddly enough, publications and stuff like that. So year 5 was also, too, a place where I was ready to grow some more, right? Like, I had mastered that food truck game, and I was like, there has to be something more. And we were getting a good response from our food. So, I was like, man, if we're getting a good response from the community that we're serving right now, imagine if we did it at a higher scale. Mm-hmm. So that was kind of my motivation. And I was telling everybody this, so I was just as nervous opening that $1,200 food truck to a $100,000 restaurant. It was the same feeling of nervousness.
Yeah.
Is that cool or what? So all that tells me is next time it's time to grow, I'm going to have that same amount of nervousness. Mm-hmm. And you just need to ignore it and go with your gut, right? And trust yourself a little bit and bet on yourself.
I've been doing this run for 30 years.
Congrats.
30 years, actually 31 now, since I had a paycheck.
Yes, sir.
You constantly keep reinventing yourself.
100%.
Like almost every day.
Yeah.
Now, it doesn't mean you're changing course every day.
Yeah.
But every day you're evolving as a person. You're bringing people in and you know what? That's, for me, is the hardest part.
Hey, go ahead.
No, go ahead. No.
I was going to ask him, we're running short on time, but I wanted to cover some food.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Because this is a foodie
I hope
special.
I answered your question, by the way. Yeah. I hope I answered that question.
Now, your brothers are still helping you, too, by the way.
Man,
Saw Michael just last week.
Yeah, man, they still help me out. Yeah. Like, I'm grateful to them.
So I've been going to your restaurant for quite some time.
Thank you.
And I started getting turned on to the vegan menu.
Yes, sir.
A lot more because the wife and some dietary restrictions she has, some, and then I'm starting to really suffer from dairy allergy stuff too.
Okay.
It's really starting to hit real hard. And I got to I have to make decisions when I eat.
Yeah.
Like, do I want to die tonight? Or do I want
I can't have that donut. Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But your vegan food, out of everything else I've had anywhere else, just stands out.
Wow.
and the Vampiro tacos that are vegan.
Yes, sir.
Whoa.
Thank you.
Whoa. So the big reason I wanted to bring you on today is to talk about that, because I think more people need to know about your vegan menu and what it offers. Because I know there's a lot of people that are starting to either realize they have a dairy allergy or it's just maybe something they want to move away
conscious.
from. Yeah. There's a, and it's even, so sometimes I'll even dive into some stuff that has dairy there just because it's just so good. But even like your guys' steak fries that you make, I think I don't even know if that's on the menu, but I asked for it. But even that it still feels light and wholesome. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So, but the vegan stuff, that is so good. What did you? I don't know if that. Look, I'm kind of new to that game, so I don't know if that always existed, or is it something that you brought in to the restaurant out of necessity, out of request, or was there something more behind it?
You know, I'll start with like Tucson and the surrounding areas, Marana and everybody. It's an amazing community of artists and food and chefs and musicians but there's also a large vegan community,
right?
And it's easy to get inspired here, right? And knowing that we have such an amazing vegan community, kind of just glancing at our menu, man, it was just like really, I was like, man, we could have a whole vegan menu if we just, it's a flip of the switch with the sauces, right? A couple of changes. If there weren't changes of sauces, a couple ingredients would make them vegan. And we could have this exciting vegan menu, right? And it's been like flying off the shelf. And I'm really happy that both, and here's the kicker, right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No.
Here's the kicker. So I had my employees try the vegan menu, and my employees were like, whoa. So if you get non-vegan, diet, people with a non-vegan diet, like, liking it, then of course, and
well, that's a win, isn't it?
Right. We've been a good response.
Yeah.
So
when was that thought process? How long ago did you kind of lean into that?
No, we probably had it now for like over a year, right around a year. And I want to feed everybody, man. New. Yeah.
Hey,
and so it's been getting a good response.
I still got to do the dogs.
Yeah. Oh,
for me personally.
Come on.
Hardcore.
Oh, like you like
I'm your dog guy.
Yeah.
I'm your dog.
You hadn't tried them. You haven't tried the hot dogs?
No.
Thank you.
In the vegan diet, I've been diving into it a lot more, just because we're getting into it. But there's it's so refreshing when you come across stuff that's actually good. There's a ton of vegan stuff out there.
God, yeah.
You're just, I mean, I'm not gonna say names, but I went one place and it was a burger, and man, I'm like, oh, this is what, I kind of felt bad because I know there's people that have to make that decision.
Right.
And I'm like, man, is this as good as it gets? But then every once in a while you come across something that's just like, to be honest with you, truly, I could eat that every day. You were talking about eating pizza all the time.
Yeah.
I could eat that every day. It's just so good, and I know people in my life were just like, this is great. So I was like, I felt really compelled to bring you on and say, hey, I know you got roped into it because it wasn't like, hey, I came by and everything. You were asking about another.
I enjoy hanging out with you guys. I was just kidding.
Yeah, you got roped in, man. But no, I was like, we got to talk about this vegan.
Yeah.
And if you go and look at your transactions recently, you're gonna see us there. Pretty
I love it. I've seen it.
I see you.
Someranos. But no,
man. Like, and me and Blacktop aside, like everybody's enjoying the menu, and oh man, I'm so grateful because like, I guess I wasn't expecting it to have the impact it did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like, wow, like it's like, oh my God, like people coming from all around, and just back on that note, like I think some people like, are trying to add vegan items to their menu to like, I think in an unselfish way to like attend to have those options for vegan people. Yeah. People on a vegan diet. But there are places right now, y'all, in town that are doing it like it's bomb. Like you would never know. Shout out to Death Free Foodie, man. She has a vegan market now where like everybody like does these amazing like eats. And I haven't attended yet, but it's on my list because I want to go and try it out because everybody's getting so creative. And they're doing stuff right now with, vegan items that will blow your mind. And I'm blown and I'm looking for inspiration everywhere. And so it exists, right?
You know, and that's cool about Tucson is there's a really solid foodie.
Yeah, this culinary scene here is unlike anywhere else I've been.
Yeah,
and I've been to
insane.
several different states.
Yeah.
And even if you go up north to Phoenix and stuff like that,
Yeah.
no, it's real scattered.
Yeah.
But here it's just,
Tucson's another level of
Yeah.
food.
Yeah, there
It's crazy. Like, it's
Hey, this is for
amazing.
another
It's
day,
everywhere.
but we
Yes,
got to
sir.
figure out a way to accent that and amplify that even more.
Yeah.
Because everybody talks about local, and then another chain pops up on the corner.
Just here in the area, we saw two
We're
of them
fighting
move
with
in.
us right now. We're talking to the
Yeah.
bureaucrats and the leaders. Like, how do we really? And it's hard sell.
Yeah.
It's a hard sell
Yeah, I
because
get
you
it,
know
right. I
the
know,
money
I
in
get
this
the
industry's
politics.
way down low.
Yeah.
I mean, the returns are way down low.
Yeah.
The investors aren't digging that. I mean, we've talked to numerous ones. Are like, yeah, I'm out.
yeah.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, we all need those. We need those options. We need those health options. And so, no, we're working behind the scenes, and we're going to lean into people like you, especially as we push this thing forward, that to really buy in and make this happen, we got to get the community to buy in with us.
Yeah. Actually, in Tucson, man, just on that note, like, I feel I'm more worried about the corporate places than I am the local places, because the local places have a zing that you can't find in a corporate place. Man.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? You could go McDonald's, you ain't going to find it there.
Well,
you
they're,
know what I mean?
they're charging
Subway,
$16
you ain't
a
gonna-
burger now.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Are they really?
Well,
Shoot, I need to
today's
raise my
Egg
prices.
Benedict Day. That means you can go
insane,
out
dude.
for $20 and get yourself.
Nah, I wouldn't do that, man. I'm happy people enjoying, and I want to do it at a fair price, and we use high quality stuff. With that said, you mentioned you tasted something. Like we pride ourselves in using quality ingredients, and I don't want to veer from that. And
Right.
and you know what I mean, still give you like an affordable meal. Excuse me.
Yeah. Well, hey, we got to cut the
Yeah.
break, but it's been awesome
Thank you,
having
man.
you here today,
I
man. Thank you
appreciate
so
it. Yeah,
much.
Thank you.
We'll get
Thank
you back in
thank
soon.
Yeah,
If
appreciate
you're,
it.
make sure to check out Marana Foodie. See what's going on there. Check out the articles. There's some stuff about
Yeah, love
Blacktop
it.
on there.
I
And
love
Marielle
it.
is a
Thank you.
contributor. She's here in the studio with a couple other
Thank you,
people.
Marielle.
So again, check that out.
Thank you, Gabe.
you. Thank you.
Thank you, buddy. That was.
Discover the power of 88 Crime, where your anonymous tips are rewarded with cash. When you call in anonymously with a tip, you are given a code. With the code and a password, you can walk into a bank and redeem your reward anonymously. If your anonymous tip results in a felony arrest, you can claim up to $2,500 cash reward. Let's stop the silence on crime and strive for a safer community. For more information, please visit 88crime.org or call 88crime.
Copper Creek Cookies, Copper Creek Cookies, CopperCreekCookies.net. We can print anything on our soft vanilla logo cookies. We deliver them and other sweet treats locally. We are located at 4249 West Ina Road, Suite 121. Call us 520-300-1131. We bake smiles. Copper Creek Cookies, Copper Creek Cookies, CopperCreekCookies.net.
Are you looking to establish a powerful online presence for your brand? Look no further than Live the Dream Media. Our team of experts possess the capabilities and skills necessary to make it happen. From creating compelling content to analyzing data and making strategic decisions, we've got it covered. Don't let a lack of social media know-how hold you back. Visit ltdmedia.net for more information.
Hi, I'm Alan Murdoch. For the past 20 years, I've been buying, fixing, and selling properties right here in Southern Arizona. And I want to buy your property. Whether it's a house, apartment, commercial building, or vacant land, regardless of the condition or the situation, I want to talk to you. When you sell to me, I pay cash and it's hassle-free. No repairs, no closing costs, and no commissions. If you have a property you don't want to deal with and you want a quick solution, call, text, or visit selltalon.com. Again, that's selltalon.com.
All right, we're back in the studio again. Thank you for the supporters of this program. Copper Creek Cookies, Sell to Allen, 88 Crime, and of course we got to throw the mothership in there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Thank you, Live the Dream Media.
That was a fast hour. That just went by so quick.
Yeah.
and just having Gabe in here, it was really cool. And then talk about tax. That's
we
our
started
recap,
with
but
taxes. We had Jackie Robinson Day, hot dogs.
Yeah.
Now we've got
Tom Sommerville. So just a little background on Tom. We've worked together for a couple years over at the Marana Police Department, but your law enforcement experience is rooted in other places as well, and you've got history somewhere, and you've got so much history and so much fun and cool stuff to talk about. You wrote a book.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
It's called Old School: The Police, the Public, and the Pranks.
Yeah.
It entails my 45 years in law enforcement. I did 30 years as a Detroit police officer from 1973 to 2003. Then I moved to Marana. I've been here 20 and a half years. And 10 months after I moved here, I joined the Marana Police Department. Did a couple months in dispatch. That wasn't for me. I went into the crime scene unit, and for 15 years, I was a crime scene investigator.
Wow. So how much total do you have in?
Well, counting, I went back to work a year and a half ago for Marana part-time as a background investigator, as you know, because we worked together.
Yeah, we did, yeah.
I'm doing backgrounds to try to hire the best people we can get to serve our community. So with that, it's 46 and a half years.
Wow.
Thank you so much, Tom.
46
Thank
and a
you
half
for
years.
your service.
Yeah. So it's cool. You stopped by, and you had been talking about the book when we were hanging out together and working, doing some work together. And to hear somebody else in where we're at, talking about doing something that's it's still a risk, right? Like in a way, because you're putting out a lot of stuff about you and other people and things that happened, but there's time, there's money, there's all kinds of effort that goes into this book. And I think it's just so cool when you get to just bring somebody in who's doing this. I've never wrote a book. Have you wrote a book?
Not a book.
Hey, no. Scott, have you wrote a book?
That's a negative.
It's a negative. So you're the only person in this room, unless the interns. Have any of you guys? No. So you're the only person in here that has not only wrote a book, but it's published. And can I grab it real quick?
Sure.
Yeah.
So got right here.
Oh, look at this.
Just thinking about writing a book, count.
Look at this. So here is his book. It's called Old School: The Police, the Public, and the Pranks. Right here. This is awesome.
And he's got the shirt on.
Yeah.
I saw that yesterday. David did a little PR on that.
Dang,
That's
this
cool.
is the official. This is so official, man. It's so awesome. But let
me take a look at that.
Yeah,
everybody says I have a friend that's written 12 books, and he said, Tom, everybody wants to write a book, but if they do, they start it and never finish it.
Yeah.
When I retired from the police department, I said I want to write a couple books, and I finally got my first one done.
Yeah.
And I plan on writing a murder mystery.
Oh wow.
So
wow.
Very cool.
So what's it take? So let's dive into the logistics of this and how does this happen? How does the book get done? How do you get it published? What steps do you have to take to make that happen?
First, you have to find a publishing company, and I found a real good one here in Tucson. They're on Speedway, called Wheatmark Publishing.
Okay.
Right by the U of A. My next door neighbor has two lady friends that written books, and she suggested them to me, and they were an excellent company. They did all the work. I just sent them the transcript and the photos I wanted in the book, and they did the rest.
No kidding.
Yeah, I can't speak any higher of a publishing company. I was very satisfied with them, and they're local.
So do they handle the editing and stuff like that
They
too?
do the editing, the proofreading, typeset. Wow. I sent them the artwork for the cover, and they do the whole thing.
Are you in that artwork, or is that something?
No,
that
I have several people ask me where am I at on this front cover.
I was hoping you were in there because I was trying to look. I'm like, I don't know.
Look at that picture though, David. Look a little closer.
This picture was from the 1920s, and they're all
look at me.
They're
See?
all Detroit cops.
Yeah.
They were the first agency to use Harleys. They still use Harleys today.
Whoa.
And I have a lot of friends. Well, where are you at in there? And I said, well, first of all, the picture's over 100 years old.
I wasn't born yet.
If I was there, I'm the one that's sitting on the seat. You can't see me. So I thought it was a funny cover, and it tells of a lot of the funny stories that are in this.
Yeah. I feel like such a clown right now asking if it's only over 100 years old, but no big deal.
There were a lot of pictures taken at that time frame of police departments with their first motorcycles, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
I called it Old School because I'll be 72 years old tomorrow. And
well, happy birthday.
Thank you. And I grew up in an era and time which a lot of the baby boomers did, where we didn't have social media. Things were so different then. I tell people that the first time I saw a dead body was when my grandfather died, and I went to the funeral home. This book tells of a lot of stories of tragic things that happened in my lifetime that I witnessed or experienced, where today's world with social media, almost everybody has seen the horrors of what humanity can bring with the mass shootings, the wars, and other parts of the world. You didn't see that back when I was growing up in my day because it just wasn't there. Now it's on social media. But these stories reflect on what happened back in those days and how I had to deal with it. And being a white police officer in a city of Detroit, the precinct I worked in was probably 90% black. And I used to get all the time, well, you only stop me because I'm black. And I even told one guy one time that, well, I've been looking for a white guy all night. I can't find one.
Was this in the 70s, early 70s?
This was in the 70s.
Yeah.
I wrote an article for our union newspaper in one officer's opinion on racial profiling. And my command officer, who was a black commander, that was a great guy, he said, Tom, I want to commend you on what a great article you wrote about that. Because it was hard. But then dealing with the scum of the earth, I guess you could say, I've seen people get killed over taking an ice cream, the last ice cream out of a refrigerator.
No kidding.
Or you look at somebody the wrong way. At one time, Detroit was having over 700 homicides a year, similar to what Chicago's experienced today.
Wow.
But then on the other side, there's a lot of humorous stories in here.
Yeah.
Roadkill was a very popular item for us to pull pranks on each other. And you'd have to read them in there. I'm not going to go into it.
Yeah.
I even pranked the New York Yankee one time, who was a friend of mine, and that's a great story.
Yeah.
So
I think you shared that with us one time.
Yeah, yeah.
That's worth reading the book for right
that
there.
Right there, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. It kind of was my way and some of the other cops' way to deal with the horrors that we saw. And it never bothered me. It's just amazing what people would do to themselves or to other human beings.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And David, you saw some of that here when you were an officer.
It's crazy.
It is.
It really is.
But it's a good read because it's 106 chapters. Each chapter is only probably a couple pages long. So it's a book you can read. If you set it down, go back to 2 weeks later, you can pick it up, and you don't have to worry where you left off.
Yeah.
Because each chapter is another story. So that makes it an easy read because cops are easy-minded people. We don't, you've been there. I enjoyed writing it, and I hope people enjoy reading it.
Yeah. So do you have it in audiobook form too?
It's not in audiobook form. Unfortunately, that costs over $5,000 to do that.
What?
But it is available at Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, and in 2 days, I'm having a book signing at the Station Bar, located on Sommerville at Wade, which is a popular local, support your local business.
Yeah.
They have great food there. From 4 p.m. to 7 p.m., I'll be there signing books and selling books. I even hired a guitarist to come in and play for 3 hours, who's really good.
Nice.
So I'm hoping some people will show up and take a look at it and buy it.
Yeah.
With tax, it's $21, and I think it's worth every penny of it.
Hey, can you throw your headphones on real quick, Tom?
Sure.
Our guy Scott is going to talk to you. So there's a guy in the room here. He wants to chat with you real quick.
Okay.
Hey, can you hear me?
Sure.
You know, I was gonna say, speaking of audiobooks, if only we knew a place that had microphones and an ability to record things, we could probably find a way to get that to you for a lot cheaper than $5,000. We'll have to talk about that.
He might be restricted by his publisher, but we'll see.
That's right. We'll see.
I'd love to do that. There's one story that really, unless I tell it, doesn't bring the humor out in it. On midnights, it would get slow, and I knew a friend of mine that owned a bar, and the name of the bar was Gigi's. And the letters Gigis were on the top. And going by there every night, we'd see pigeons sitting up there. So I asked the owner, I said, hey, Tony, I noticed you have pigeons sitting up on your letters there. Would you mind? I know a lot of guys have BB guns, and we use it for roadkill sometimes. He said, Tom, kill them all. He says, those birds poop all over the wall and on the sidewalk. I have to power wash. So sure enough, one night we shot one. And in the old school days, the police cars had the old hood ornaments on them, the little spring-loaded hood ornament. You guys know what I'm talking about? So I took this dead pigeon and popped it on that Chrysler Star. And when he drove off, his wings were flapping in the breeze. And this guy pulled up to us in a Cadillac in the summer. And he leans over and he says, Officer, I just don't understand how that bird just stays on your car like that. I said, well, sir, it's a trained police pigeon. He will not fly away. So we left the light, got up to the next light. The wings are flapping on this dead pigeon. And he looked over again. He says, I just don't believe my eyes. That bird don't fly away. Well, it was dead. So that's one of the prank stories that's in here.
That's good. That's good. It's good wholesome
we,
stuff.
We need a good
wholesome family stuff.
Yeah. In today's world, we need a little. And I make fun of myself. Some of the guys one time gave me a gift certificate for $5,000 to Dr. Jack Kevorkian's. Unfortunately, I haven't used it. Dr. Kevorkian has passed away, so it's no longer valid. But that's another one of the humorous things.
Quick reference, if you don't know who Dr. Jack was, he would help murder you.
He was an assisted suicide doctor. And
Where was he at again?
He was in Michigan.
He was in Detroit, Michigan.
Detroit? Yeah. Oh, that would have been convenient for you. No wonder they had the gift card.
Didn't include travel expenses.
I mean, there are stories of good police work in here. I'm proud to say that I'm responsible for saving 6 people's lives. 4 in a fire, 1 in a car accident. So I'm proud of that.
Yeah.
And there's some stories of some supervisors that I didn't get along with, so I had to change their names in the book so I don't get sued.
Yeah.
But that's what the book's all about.
Yeah. It's like a real life look at it, you know? And it's cool to have something like that, especially in today's environment, right? You're talking about you were working in an environment that was predominantly, you know, people of color, you know, and you had to navigate that enforcement piece doing that. And I think it's like, there's a lot to learn from somebody that's been through that, where you're having 700 homicides a year, right? Like that's a huge crime problem. And I'm assuming you guys helped deter that a little bit during your time with different.
We tried
proactive.
Detroit has really made a comeback. I still have my 3 kids and 9 grandchildren live there in the suburbs. I've been back there, and it's really coming back, and I'm proud to say that. But it also covers the 15 years I did here in Marana, working with you.
Okay. Oh, great. I'm not in there, am I?
No.
You had to change the name, David.
But I thought, well, I always tell people I've never seen everything in all these years, because you never know what the next call would bring. The officers here, even though Marana's a smaller town than Tucson or Phoenix or Detroit, the street's the street. Mm-hmm. It's the same violence out there. Mm-hmm. We see it every day in the news. But there are stories here, some humorous things. I pulled some pranks in Marana, some of the girls in records, one of the detectives. But there's also stories. I never thought I'd investigate a fatal hot air balloon crash. I never thought I'd see a tow truck driver have to put a wetsuit on in a desert. But a car ran into the swimming pool over at the Super 8 Motel.
Oh.
So, there's a lot of things I learned about the desert living out here.
Yeah.
And this tells of the good work that the men and women of Marana Police do for the community.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I'm proud to have been a part of that, and still proud to help them out, get the best hired people we can.
Yeah. Thank you for your continued service. Mm-hmm. You have also seen just an immense change in technology in policing.
When I started, we had one police radio for the 2 officers, so if you went in to get a coffee, the other officer would have to sit out in the car. We didn't have computers in the cars. I didn't have air conditioning from 1973 to 1990. And then today's technology, the officers, when I left Detroit, we just started getting pepper spray. And now they have 2 great things, the taser and the cameras. The body cameras, I sure wish we'd have had them, because it would have saved a lot of complaints.
Yeah.
Because it does protect the officers. And there still are, unfortunately, bad police officers out there today. You see it in the news, and why these guys do the things they do, I don't understand. I don't support it. But for the most part, the men and women out there are doing a great job protecting us.
Yeah, yeah. as in most or almost every profession, you have your bad apples.
You got a bad doctor here and there, and the cops, because we're supposed to be a little bit better than the average citizen, but we're still the same. We bleed the same. The stories here, we see the same things. It affects you as a person.
Yeah, when I was going through my initial training, there was a conversation we'd have often about headline. Right? Like, what do you mean about headline? Well, headline was the action you take on what's happening here. Is it going to be a good headline for the news? Or is it going to be a bad headline for the news? And it was because you said social media and everything has magnified things times 1,000. So, all these really bad atrocities and murders and stuff like that have been happening in society since its existence, but only over the last decade or a little more has been magnified to where people are exposed to it at such a level that it creates this feeling of constant negativity, right? And I think that that's something that's we're probably gonna talk about in another 10 years. Like, yeah, that probably wasn't a good idea, but just going back to all the changes and everything and what you've seen. We talked about the headline now because of all the technology that exists, because every single person here is potentially a news reporter or can provide video access and stuff like that. But going back to that, the body-worn camera, when that came into play, because I was actually a cop for a little bit when we didn't have them. And then when we got those, game changer. I thought it was one of the best technological advances because you throw out the complaints, because those would still come in.
Sure.
Oh, that officer said this to me. Oh, did he? Press play. Yeah, that didn't happen. Right? Or you need to go and look at something happen in the call you can't remember, right? Because you guys had to do it off of memory. Right?
Yeah, we did. It was a different time then. But I always lived by the rule my dad taught me: treat people the way you want to be treated.
Right.
If you do that, then you don't have any worries.
Exactly.
And if you're honest with everything, you make a mistake, and I've made mistakes, admit it, and live with your mistake and own up to it.
Yeah.
I wasn't perfect in this job, but I did the best I could, and I treated every day like it was the most important day that I worked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I treated people with respect, dignity. Didn't matter who they were, what their ethnicity, their preferences, what they want to be called. No, you were a person just like me. And most of the time when we dealt with people, it was at pretty much a bad time in their life.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like the worst day of their life in many cases.
Yeah.
I was a member of the Detroit Police Honor Guard for 25 years, and I performed at over 300 funerals for cops, mostly retired, but I did 32 in the line of duty deaths. And the family would come up to us after the cemetery, folding the flag, firing a 21-gun salute, and all they had to do was say thank you. And that just meant the world to us.
Yeah.
I had a lady one time that I was on an airplane going back to Detroit, Midway Airport in Chicago, and she saw me put my overhead bag and noticed the logo on it was from the National Law Officers Memorial from Washington, D.C., and she said, is that from Washington, D.C.? I said, yes, ma'am. She said, oh, my brother was killed in a line of duty. And I said, oh, here in Chicago? She said, no, Detroit. I said, what was his name? And she said, Michael Bousset. Oh, was he a sergeant, red hair, 7th Precinct, got killed interrupting a burglary? This was over 20 years ago. She said, did you know my brother? I said, no, but he got killed in a line of duty serving the citizens of the city of Detroit. And I said, I did the firing of the 21-gun salute and folded his flag. Wow. And she started crying and wanted to know if she could give, all because she recognized that bag.
Right.
And I said, we don't forget those that are serving the community.
Yeah, yeah. They need to have you at the academy, Tom. Did that ever come up?
I'm a member of the Boys in Blue Law Enforcement Motorcycle Club, and we're like a 100 club where we support family members of first responders seriously injured or killed in the line of duty. For instance, Kyle Lorentz, TPD officer that lost his leg last year, he was the first recipient where we gave a monetary award and a certificate and a flag to Kyle. And in fact, Saturday we're driving down to Benson. There is a Border Patrol agent that was killed en route to a call a couple of months ago. He crashed his SUV. We're presenting his widow with a monetary donation and a plaque. So it's what we do.
It's incredible
to help out the families.
Yeah, yeah. Well, if you're listening and you're a police officer, or even especially new, I mean, check this book out. I mean, anybody should read it, but in particular that, I think there's a lot of value in that. And then hearing you talk about what really matters and how to approach things today is really good. If you could, one more time, tell us what's going on Thursday.
Thursday at the Station Bar and Grill on Sommerville at Wade. Wade is about a half mile north or west of Cortero Roads. I'm going to be signing books there. I'll have books for sale. There's going to be music, and they have a great food and drink selection there.
Yeah.
I'd love to see anybody come out and autograph a book for you.
And it's 4 to 7.
From 4 p.m. to 7 p.m.
Okay. Can I get one of those books signed today?
Oh, I've got one for you.
Oh, my man. My man. Tom, thank you so much for joining us on this.
It's my honor. I appreciate the time. And I didn't write this book to make money on it. I'm going to lose money on it for what it cost me. I don't care. It's just to get the stories out there so people can enjoy reading about what street life is like back then and what it's like today. and hopefully they'll get a few laughs out of some of the pranks.
Yeah. Can I ask you, was it I hate to use the word therapeutic, but for the lack of a better word, was it therapeutic for you to write this?
Not really. I just enjoyed it. I've been getting remarks from guys that have bought the book back in Detroit, and they read it in one day because it's a fast
just that
read.
Kind of read, yeah.
And the comments they make, Scott Bennett, David, you know him.
Yeah.
He said, I didn't know you knew how to spell. But from the guys and girls that have read it that I worked with, they said, you brought back some good memories.
Nice.
And they enjoyed it, and that's why I wrote it, just so something good in this world instead of, even though it's got sad stories in it, I wrote it just for the enjoyment of the reader.
Beautiful.
That's good. Well, thank you so much for being here today. We're going to close this show out.
Hey, Tom, I got
we got something. Here you go.
I got a quick question for you. I want to make sure in the chat I get the location of the book signing correct. It's from 4 to 7 this Thursday, and where at?
It's called the Station Bar.
The Station.
It's on the south side of Silverbell, right at Wade.
Perfect. I want to add that for the people in the chat because we're getting some. We got somebody that can't wait to get their copy, and they're going to see you there. So I want to make sure that we get all of that right. Dude, this was fantastic, gentlemen. Thank you for coming in.
I appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Yeah. All right. Make sure to check out our podcast platform for this episode here in the next day or two. If you're looking to hear it again, and also we'll keep it on Facebook and everything else for you. And if you're interested in advertising here on our program, feel free to reach out. We have open spots. You see we have some ads already on there, and we're looking to expand into a couple more days, which will open up more ad spots. So, again, thank you so much. We appreciate you, and we look forward to seeing you next Tuesday and then the future Thursdays. Thank you.
Boom.